हाय एवरीवन। आज मैं फिर एक बार दोबारा आपको आपसे मिलाने के लिए एक हीलर को लेकर आई हूँ। मैं निशा से, जो अब कृपा ज्योति के नाम से जानी जाती हैं और उन्हें पसंद भी है ये नाम, उनसे कुछ बातचीत करूँगी कि उनकी ये जर्नी कैसे रही। सो वंस अगेन वेलकम निशा।
थैंक यू विभा।
सो नाइस टू एक्सेप्ट दिस। जबकि रात है और हमने किसी तरह से कैमरास को एडजस्ट किया है so that we can bring out the best, and we are sitting in Nisha's office, and so this is her place, her den, what she's been healing, where she has been healing people for more than 16 years.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I started in 2004. So now it's 2020, so yeah, 16 years.
Wow, that's a journey.
Yeah,
तो एक लाइफ सेंटेंस तो पूरा कर ही दिया आपने। 14 साल तो पूरे हो ही गए। So nice. And Nisha, you were an MBA. You told me that you completed your MBA, and then you came to this. You know, somehow you were sucked in, or what was it, Nisha, which attracted you or pulled you in? So what was that?
So when I was doing my MBA, somebody in my class introduced me to Osho. So and luckily I got so many books of Osho in my MBA library that I started borrowing them and I started reading them. And it was a maddening experience for me to read Osho at that point, because I was too young. I was only 21 at that point, and I was just reading Osho and Krishnamurti, and it was like a boom. Like my mind just exploded after reading Osho. That was like something new for me at that point.
Osho has been my love too, you know, because my mother handed over that book to me, and then there was no ending. You know, in fact, the latest I was reading The Secret, of where he talks about tantra and all other techniques of meditation.
Yes.
So he's so wide and he's so deep, and you know, he raises your vibration so high. So it's like multi-dimensional way the Osho world. When you think about Osho, what is that one thing you feel that?
So with Osho, what I understood was the essence of being and how to reach there, how to connect to that beingness. Like I must have read almost 100 books of Osho, and in every book he said the same thing.
Wow.
To connect to that beingness. And when you connect to that, when you become that being, everything just happens.
So is this also what I know, that being in being, connect to being, it's also that being in now?
Yes.
Being living and
Yes, being present.
fully present in that now
Yes.
moment.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Because nowadays Eckhart Tolle is so much in, you know, like we listen to him and he's amazing. But people who have read Osho and understood Osho, it's been mind-boggling, and it's been very revelation. It has been a revelation for.
Yes. Because for me, when I was reading it, within few years, I experienced that what he was saying in those books, and it's so funny that I have never touched those books again. I just read it then in those like 2 years, and I have never touched it again, because I just started living that. I started living that essence, and I understood it so much that word by word I was like, okay, this is what he was saying, and now I'm living it.
So it had, you never felt like joining an Osho
No,
group or
somehow
nothing
no.
like that?
No.
Okay. And then Krishnamurti. You know, I read Krishnamurti's Gita, and Krishnamurti's how he has explained things, and he has helped you understand the mechanics of mind and the thought.
Yeah.
So Krishnamurti must have been, you know, a teacher
Yes.
in its own kind.
Yes. Because Krishnamurti, when I was reading him, it was like the first time for me where I was reading something different than what we normally read. Like something which shows you about the life, and something which tells you that, okay, there is a different perspective to life than what we live. And he expanded my mind. He showed me how we get trapped into the mind patterns, and how we can open and understand those mind patterns in order to ease our living.
Nisha, can you please repeat that, because that was a very powerful line. What you said. I think everybody wants to listen to that.
So So for me, Krishnamurti, he helped me understand that there is a way where we can expand our mind and understand our mind patterns.
Okay.
Because we get caught up in our mind patterns so much that we create the issues unnecessarily when they are not there.
So mind is like a monkey, like everybody says. It's
Yes.
like, so give it a banana and don't waste yourself.
Yes.
That's a good one. I usually tell everybody, mind is like a monkey. So in fractions you are going all over. You know,
Yes.
the thoughts are there, all spread over, spilled over. Everything is happening. Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
when I started understanding my mind patterns, I figured out that I am creating so many things which are unnecessary. And then I started focusing on, okay, what I'm creating, which are my mind patterns, and what is exactly which needs to be created and which needs. It's like it helped me in sorting out my own mind space.
So it is also the churning which took place,
Yes.
the filter what happened, and then you sieve out.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that is interesting. And then you entered the healing world.
Yes, it was so interesting for me to know that okay, there is a different space in which we live in, and it was so exciting at that point that somehow the universe brought Reiki into my space. And I was so excited to learn Reiki and do Reiki. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I learned for a second level, and within like 6 months, I learned my third level. Within a year, I just completed my mastership.
Wow. So you are working as a profession,
Yes.
as a healer, as a profession,
Yes, full time.
full time,
Yes.
on mind, body, and soul, the
Yes.
balancing of it.
Yes, yes,
Oh, great. And so you did Reiki,
yes.
and then you said that you did your theta healing.
Hypnosis, like in
Hypnosis.
2004 I was in Reiki, so 4-5 years I still do Reiki, I still practice Reiki, I still teach Reiki.
Mhm.
And but then I started because with Reiki it just opened up, and then new things came into the space.
Yeah.
And because we humans, we are like the curious ones, so we want to learn, we want to expand so much.
Yeah.
So things came in and I was like, okay, I'll do that. Then hypnosis came into my space in 2008. So I did that. So I'm a hypnotherapist as well. I do past life regressions also. And while I was practicing hypnosis, I felt, okay, there is something more.
Because I told-
That's
you
what-
go to your past life and then you progress and you regress and then you feel, oh my god, within that each stage there's so much more is happening, so many rings are created.
It's like these things are so, like when you don't know them, these things are so new and so like fun.
Intrigue,
Yeah.
intrigue, you're intrigued with that.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I can do this much and I can do that and I can do that. Oh wow, I can go into the past life and I can see that. It was so much fun for me at that point when I was doing it and learning it. And then while learning, I figured out that it was much more than that. It was not just learning a course, it was like much, much, much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And the journey went deeper and deeper and deeper with every technique, every practice.
Wider and wider
Yes,
and wider
yes,
and
yes.
taller and taller and taller. Yeah, because I remember when I met you in 2008, and then after 4-5 years when we connected again, and it was so much of change, you know, like I was going through my own thing and then you were, and it was such an amazing thing when we started sharing what all happened in our lives. I have experienced that family constellation with you, and things definitely change, you know, how it was beautifully made, and the way you conducted it, it was something like each and every part of us were opening up, and some things we were letting go, we were forgetting, or forgetting means we were forgiving, or we wanted to forget, but you made us go through that churning and the emotions and everything and then cross over, right? So that we create something new and the feelings and everything. What is family constellation and why is it so effective?
So, family constellation, Vibha, is a technique which was given by Bert Hellinger.
Yeah.
And Bert Hellinger, he's no more right now, like he passed away last year. And he is a German, he was a German psychologist and psychotherapist who devoted his whole life towards constellations, towards understanding the family systems, and towards developing how the relationships, how one person in the family can affect the whole dynamics of a family. And it's not just about the relationships within the family, it's about how you can say how the family system, like the current family, can be affected by the ancestors, by the parents, by the you can say the dead in the family, because dead plays such an important role in family constellations. Because when I was in Germany, I was like attending this constellation, and there were people from all over, like different countries and different histories, because every country has its own history and people go through, the generations go through that, and they were carrying those issues in their family system because some generation went through that.
Isn't that uncanny that we are, I'm talking about family constellation, and for the dead in the month of Shraddh, where in India we, we do all the puja and everything for our dead, for our ancestors, and also interesting, and we are talking about this.
So family constellation also tells us that everyone in a family system, every single person has a role and is important. Whether, even if it's a miscarried child, even if it's an aborted child, even if a child who could not survive, has an important role for the next one. And it's like nothing is ignored in a family constellation. Everyone is included. Everyone comes into and has a place in the constellation.
Yeah. And I have experienced that even though we have this many people in that constellation and that workshop, but you have also done it in the absence of people or relationship or the role they somebody wants to put it or to be played through chits, right? Through papers, and that was so amazing that you write the name and it still moves and does things. How you feel when you step over it, and you can actually feel what that the name written, what that person would be feeling or responding or reacting and everything. That's so amazing.
Yes, because it's like we are not considering the energy as in like we are not saying that only if the person is present then only the constellation will happen. No, because we are considering the truth in a constellation. We focus on what is true in that relationship, which the people who participate as in whose relationship it is, they don't know, and that's why the issues come up.
Wow. So
the truth which is hidden, that shows up in a constellation.
So and I read it somewhere. In your absence, I find your presence.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Oh, great. And that has been effective.
Yes,
right?
It is.
Yeah. And then tell me about this thing of the EFT, which you feel that it's very effective. It's an emotional freedom technique. And with your clients, when they say that they're so relieved and they feel so light after doing this, how does it help? And
so with me, when I do EFT, like I tap with the clients, like I simultaneously tap. And I kind of, because when I'm doing the sessions, I am fully into their space and I'm fully connected to what they have to say and what they are going through. So when I do EFT sessions, I kind of tap simultaneously with them. And then I give them that, this is what is happening. Like this is the layer, this is the layer, this is the layer, this is the layer, this is the layer. And EFT, in a way, when we start tapping, we can go deeper into the subconscious. Till we come to that core issue.
So people cry in that?
Yes, sometimes yes.
Or they get angry?
Yes, because it's an emotional release. So when we are tapping, what is happening is we are opening up the energy meridians, and when we are opening up the energy meridians, it's like a lot of emotions which is blocked in the body that shows up.
Okay, when it shows up is one thing. How do you now make them understand and how do you fill that void? Because once they're empty, they're free of that emotion. So once the void is created, what is it that you refill it with or replace it with?
Okay, so within the EFT session, the technique itself is like sometimes when we are releasing. So the like I focus on like the few minutes in a session, we release,
Yeah.
and then I change the statements. I change the statements in a way that they feel empowered. So that's how I do EFT sessions. Quickly within that session, the anxiety goes and the trust.
So it's
comes
more
in.
of understanding and replacing it with more
Yes.
positive,
Yes.
and making each and every points
Yes.
resonate with it.
Yes. So when I'm tapping, I'm like, because I tap simultaneously, so I get to know that okay, at this point, this is the energy showing up for the person, and that's how I give the statements. Because so I'm so much in a communion with their space that I'm like, okay, I know what is going on there, and I can just pull it out, and that helps them to go deeper and like pull out more beliefs and more programs. It's like changing the beliefs and changing the programs within the tapping. That happens.
So you have done Access Bar also.
Yes.
What is it?
With Access Bars, they have again, it is founded by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Heer, and they have given 32 points on the head. So on our head, they have the 32 points, which they call the bars.
Okay.
Right, and I think it's like the name given is like because it's easier and it's fun. So for the whole approach is fun for them. They just add fun to everything.
Wow.
And Access Bars is like running those points, they say, is going to clear the limited point of views and the belief systems. It's like decluttering your mind, not just the mind, but decluttering your, you can say, the stories beyond time and space, even the past lives.
So when we are talking about EFT, it's replacing. It's the alternate thing.
EFT is more about understanding the patterns.
Okay.
So we go deeper into our own patterns, and
with repetition it goes on, and then you can find your own meaning and the words, the right words, which replaces the positive.
Yes.
No, which replaces the disturbances, the emotional disturbances.
Yes.
And then replaced by the positive.
Yes.
Right. So that you're more integrated.
Yes. So again, I would say like it's not about the negative or the positive. It's about what resonates with the client. What solution they are looking for.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're not looking for positivity.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're looking for something much more deeper than just being positive.
So
the
understanding or
yes.
awareness or.
So it's like what we do in EFT is we change the, you can say, the patterns, changing the blocks, and giving, and it's like shifting the blocks in a way that they can see that okay, this is what I'm doing, and then within that seeing, I just change it for them.
Isn't this wonderful? I mean, with in such a short time,
Yes.
you can shift the way they think or respond to their disturbance. Isn't that so beautiful?
Yes, EFT is something I find it very fast. Like there are people who come with a lot of resistance, and they come here, but then they don't want to heal, or they don't want to change, and they don't want to do stuff. For me, I start with EFT with them, because EFT helps
opens up.
Yes,
And integrates things, and then just opens up.
Yes.
Just opens up the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, मेरा वो जो meter में that was 5 and suddenly dropped to 1.5, 2.
Yes.
Amazing. Oh, that's so amazing. You have recently become sound healer.
Yes.
Why I'm saying recent? Because this is the
Yes.
recent one, and you are so much with it
Yes.
that with sound and the rhythm and how the healing takes place, and it's something very soothing. When I hear the sound, the sounds of bowls and different kind of sounds, as it is, music has always been therapeutic. So how? I mean, like, how come you got attracted to sound healing? Because you were doing such intense work, right? You
Yeah,
were doing,
yes,
you've been doing
yes,
amazingly
yes,
intense
yes.
work on deeper levels, on theta and Akashic records and constellations and EFT and access bar, you know, so much deeper and deep tissue, different dimensional work. And suddenly you came up that you're doing sound healing. I said, wow, this is something so interesting. I'm still curious to know what exactly, you know, attracted you to sound healing.
So I attended the demo. If you remember, you had a demo at your place also years back.
5-6 years
Yeah,
back.
at that
yeah.
demo, and I just casually attended it, and it was okay. At that
Yeah.
point, it was just fun, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay. At that point, there was nothing.
Nobody
No
was doing
attraction.
also.
Yeah.
And no, yeah.
And then suddenly last year, it's like as if my body and my being just wanted me to learn sound healing. And I started searching for like the teachers of sound healing. I found was that sound has much more deeper way of going into the body, into the cells, and into, you can say, even the chakras we can heal with sound. I like in the second level I did the chakra healing with sound, and with me I need to experience it, then I believe somehow that has been my thing, that okay, when I experience something on myself, I just know how it works. I need to know the energies of it. And when I was in the class, I was in the demo, and I would say my whole world just went upside down with that one demo, because it was so intense and so strong, and it's like I could feel my cells were like vibrating with that sound. It's like you're just vibrating to a extent where it changes your cells. And you can say not just the cells, it's like whatever the blocks, whatever you are storing, even the trauma or the pain within the body, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, it just dissipates with sound. And no talk, because I had this question with my teacher that okay, do we have to explain it to them, or do we have to ask questions, because I work with mind and all. So they said no, nothing, you just do the sound, and sound heals. Sound just it does its work.
So beautiful.
Yes,
It is very therapeutic. You know, I just remembered my father saying that every word has two elements, you know, and one is the meaning of the word and other is the sound. How you say that word, now that decides what exactly you want the other person to listen, right? Besides having the meaning, which is in dictionary. So it's so true, that sound really, you know, and the best part is when you go silent,
yes,
and then the things are heard.
yes.
Along
Because
with
in
the
sound
rhythm.
healing sessions also the person has to surrender, and it's the belief. Like with healing, it's the belief. It's the faith that yes, something can change and something can be done with me.
It's with the faith.
Yes.
I always believe that healings is like a blessing, and you are not a healer, you just become a medium at
Yes.
that time. You're working in cognizance and in partnership with the spirits and
Yes.
the masters.
Yes.
That's what
And with
it
me,
is.
like I have noticed this so many times in this respect, that when I talk to people, I use the word we. Like it never comes I somehow.
It never comes, you know, it's always that we feel this,
Yeah,
and there's
we do this, we do this, we do
what do you
that.
mean by we? Are you, is anybody else also
Yes.
over there? They said, I said, no, it's something like I'm in partner. Okay, fine, I hear that, and do I have to tell or not tell, or this is the right time? Or,
Yes.
I know, this is something so amazing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's so amazing, and it's so beautiful
It is,
also.
it is, it
you know,
is.
and somewhere it just makes you, you know, bow down. You know?
Yes.
It's like in gratitude and receiving the blessings that you are the medium, and the compassion comes,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
क्योंकि what I felt over the years, like spiritual ego is the worst kind of ego, and we all must have gone through this.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
we all have gone through in that circle, and then you're hit back, and then you feel okay, sorry, okay, I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
It's not me. It may be because you wanted, so we become we.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to know, because you are one girl, I know that when you start something, you complete it and also finish it. You know, so it's something like in all of these, you've done Reiki, you've done your Theta and your XSFR and your EFT, sound healing and family concept. You have mastered it,
Yes.
or you have completed, and now you can train others.
Yes.
Right? You have become the trainer, the
Yes.
certified trainer.
Yes.
Out of all of them, which one is your favorite? Although it's very, like it's not when you ask a mother that which child is the best, it's something like that, but still, or you can divide it in something which is the fastest or which is the deepest level, or it can be, like where you can make the client more comfortable. So which is it? Whether you want to put it in categories, or which is the most favorite of yours?
So Vibha, the thing is that it depends on the clients actually. So Vibha, it depends on the clients, and it's like, because I have been practicing so many techniques from so many years, so now I can understand the client's space, what they require, and not every technique will work on one client. Because it's like not, because theta healing involves a lot of belief work and changing the programs. Not everyone is ready for that. Some people want the silent, relaxed sessions. For them, the bars and the Reiki sessions or the sound healing sessions are the best, because they don't want to talk during the sessions. They just want to relax and get it done.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who are into chronic diseases, even the cancer patients and all, they are too exhausted to talk it out and change their beliefs and programs. No. They just can't handle that. So for them, the sound healing sessions, or you can say even the bar sessions, they are the gentler sessions and still very, very effective sessions. That helps. And similarly, a lot of people are into you can say the space where they want to dig and they want to change and they want to like instant understanding they want. So the EFT sessions work very, very fast with them. And theta healing sessions also, because in theta I can give the downloads and I can shift the beliefs and programs within seconds. Like I've noticed the change. Like I can do 10 sessions of hypnotherapy and 1 session of theta. So that's the fast energy. Still, people there are a lot of people who like hypnosis and they want to do only hypnosis. Like even the sessions, they are like, we want to get the past life regression done. So that's okay with me. That's their choice. But it's like, because I can practice it in a different way, so I give them this option that okay, this is other option if you want to try that, so you can go with that.
So now I know, because she knows that I'm always in hurry, and that's where you always do theta.
Yes.
I mean, like you say, okay, the download is there, and I'll say, okay, yeah, that's better, because I have to leave in 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and let's do it quicker, let's be more effective.
Yes.
And fine. So it's a custom made. It's when you, as a healer, whenever I'm with my client, then within fraction of second, you can feel what the client wants and needs sometimes, and sometimes the clients don't even know.
Yes.
But
That's
they
the
are there with you in trust, in faith, that something will come out better, right? Some change, some shift, some outlook, some perspective,
and most of the time they don't know about healing. They just read about it, like,
and they want to experience the
yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah, that is true.
And the trust has to be that okay, sometimes they just call and ask for one modality, and then I take up their case, and it's something different which comes out during the session, and it's a different technique we are using in a session because their space demanded that technique. So sometimes if it's a family or a relationship aspect, then I use constellations for that, because I can sense that okay, there's much deeper layer to it than just doing the EFT, which can be dealt only with constellations. So it depends on person to person, case to case, that how the therapies are going to go. It's like very different for each one. And obviously with me, I don't practice something which I don't like. So yeah, so for me it's like my favorite is, you can say, like all the techniques which I practice, and the effectiveness which I see with other people is like my favorite thing. When they call me up and they're like, oh, this shifted. That's the best thing.
Okay, I want to know one thing. Do you get angry
with the clients?
at times?
I get angry.
Or Firm, of course.
I would say yes,
Yeah,
firm.
yeah.
So I don't get angry as in with the clients, because over the years I have learned how to be a professional.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are professional
Yeah.
ethics, and there are there are those set things with the profession. But then there are certain clients who like don't respect the work.
Yeah.
So with them,
I
I am very strict.
Same. Thank you for making me feel less guilty, you know.
With energy healing, with healing, it's the mind needs to be shut. It happens with me as well. Like
Okay.
sometimes when people are not respectful towards the work, or they are just unnecessarily creating the
Mind
noise.
games?
Yes.
Another mind
Yes,
games?
yes. Because in sessions also they do that, but then after one session I just settle them and they're fine. So that happens with
Then you
clients,
have
yes.
to be, yeah.
Yes.
So compassionate and yet
Yes,
firm.
Yes.
Great. Wow. Kripa, you have been painting high vibrational
Yes.
paintings, right? You have been making such amazing paintings, and which are now, it's a custom made thing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
As when they are in their higher self. Is that
Yes,
what
so
you-
it's like I connect to their higher self, like their high frequencies, because through theta I can connect to like the whole universe, the cosmic energies, and the high vibrations, the different dimensions, laws. So that gives me the access, the theta connection. And with theta I can connect to the higher selves. I can connect to I can talk to the higher self of the person. I can even do readings for the person, higher self readings for the person. So in higher self artwork, it is more about connecting to their vibration, to their truth as who they are, not just in the body, but like who they are as a whole unit, as a being. And then like whatever visual is shown to me in that meditation, that connection is like for them. And with that visual, the messages came, and like the colors, the vibrations, the whatever needs to be in that painting, I just paint it.
Has it ever happened that the colors which I usually see in the light colors or the light, has there been the darker colors also?
So
that time?
usually,
Or the higher self is always in light
so
vibrations?
when you say darker colors, what do you mean by the dark?
Like usually what I have seen, it's like violets and whites and greens and yellows, you know, the upper chakra colors. And some of the reds are also, but then the intensity where it's more grays or browns, and the colors which are
The lower vibration.
not in the Vibgyor. So do you see that also in higher vibration, or higher vibration when we are talking it's always on the lighter side?
Usually colors are on the lighter side, because colors have their own frequency and vibration.
Okay.
So when we are painting the higher self, so higher self, because we are focusing on the higher frequency, higher vibration of the person, so usually the colors are on the lighter side.
Okay.
On the brighter side, on the like the Vibgyor, because the violet is the highest frequency in white and violets
Yeah.
and blues. They are the higher frequency colors. So usually that is my color palette.
Okay.
And then of course whatever the message is shown to me, like whatever, sometimes the colors, yes,
Some of the symbols.
yes,
must be
sometimes the metaphors are shown to me, sometimes the symbols are shown to me, sometimes it's like recently I made a high self for someone, and it was more about the wild side of her being, connecting to that, and she didn't knew that because I always get a message with a high self painting, and I type it out and I give it to them that this was the message. So, and this was what I saw in the high self for you. So it was more about, because that was not my usual style of painting, and when I was doing that, it was more about like the drama, lot of drama in the colors. So I just gave the drama
Wow.
with the textures, and I just went with the flow. That okay, this is what is showing for her, so it's her energies and it's her thing.
So does that also change because our energies keep shifting? And so does that also change, or the higher self is always the same, remain the same?
So it's like the soul essence is always the same. Like the soul essence, you always have one basic essence which remains the same. That's your being. So you can expand your being and bring in new energies, of course, but then the main essence of your being remains the same. So if you have noticed, some people just operate out of love and that is their essence. Some operate out of wisdom and that is their essence. Some operate out of the essence of freedom and joy, and that is their essence. So for me, I've noted my essence is wisdom. So I function from that and I acknowledge that and I just operate from that space. So what I'm getting for you is the caregiver. It's with a lot of freedom and a lot of joy and fun involved in it. So it's like your essence is to nourish and nurture.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting for you.
Yeah, in my childhood, anybody would ask me, what do you want to become? And I would say, mother.
See?
And I wanted to cook food in big utensils and feed to kids and people and tell them stories. And yeah.
And for you, it's not about caregiving as in you can say in a pathetic way. No, you are you do it with a lot of joy and a lot of freedom and happiness. It's like that for you. It's like, because a lot of people who are into giving, they get drained out and exhausted and all. But with you, it's not the case. You enjoy that. Because that's your sense, so you enjoy that. So something which is our sense, we normally enjoy doing that.
That's so beautiful. And then when you feel that, so you can draw, you can paint and add colors and metaphors and whatever.
So whatever the energies of the person, I get the colors accordingly. It's like, because it's their vibration. So like I said, every color has its own vibration and frequency. So whatever frequencies I'm seeing with them, the colors add up. And then of course the you can say the mixing and all that comes in.
So beautiful.
Yeah. So sometimes it's very intense, sometimes it's like it's as per their energies, that it's okay. It's subtle and it's soft and it's like, okay, this is how they are.
Oh wow, this is such an amazing
it is.
Yeah,
because it gets very intense when I paint sometimes, because I am into their space and it's so beautiful and honorable for me to actually connect and paint their high frequencies.
And how much time does it take?
So it depends on the size. Like if it's a small size, like a 14 by 16 or 14 by 18 size, and if I'm painting in acrylic, so I think maximum 3 to 5 days I can finish it. And if it's a bigger size, then yes, it can take time. And oil takes time depending on the weather. So if it's an oil painting, it takes time.
Wow, I think this is such a beautiful sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell me, Kripa, what is your learning? Because how do you describe, or your purpose is one thing, and you're learning out of all these experience, like 16 years of experience, and first going through the courses, you open up yourself, right? You're vulnerable.
Yes.
You learn so much. You let go so much.
And I think I'm still whenever I attend a class.
And it's so beautiful to be vulnerable, and people fear to be vulnerable. And I say it's so beautiful that you can have trust to be vulnerable in front of.
And even now when I'm doing classes, like attending classes, like recently when I attended, I was the only one who was crying and who was releasing,
coming out with all the emotions.
And then people are like, you might be a very emotional person, or you might be having a lot of issues, and I just smile. I'm like, you know what I mean?
That's making us human. That's making us human.
Because I open up, even if there is no issue, I just surrender and I open up. There may be there is something deep down which I'm not aware of and which needs to be cleared.
Inquisitiveness and being there and receiving, open to receive, to learn more. So what's your learning, like out of all this journey of 16 years?
Wow, this is like a very deep question you have asked just now, because it has been so much, like so many experiences, and if I think about it, I would say self-love and centering myself were the two main things which I have learned profoundly in all these years. because self-love is something which a lot of people struggle, a lot of clients struggle, and which nobody teaches you how to do it. No one ever tells you how to love yourself. Not even in school.
We've
not in-
always been taught
Never.
to be kind, to be nice. Nobody tells us kind. Be kind to yourself first, because the whole meaning of life begins with you, and then I, and then me, and mine, and myself, and then so many people around, and the different circles of life. Nobody teaches us.
Nobody teaches that. And for me, when I first realized that self-love, I have to love myself, and I was like, I didn't even knew what that means.
How to love myself.
I had no clue how to love myself.
So did you go and shop? Did you go and the first
Oh, I wish I could.
splurge the money of the shopping for yourself, and not for any gifts, and not for occasions, and just without occasions, and
Yes.
just pampering
Yes,
yourself?
I started doing that.
Yeah?
Yes, and I did like the smallest basic things of loving myself, as to see, okay, what do I want to eat, and what do I like, and what do I want to dress up with.
Oh.
I had no clue in my initial years how to do that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You were very young when you lost your mother.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. So with the smallest of the thing, and when you say self-love, what was it? What do you want to tell and share others, that how should they start with that?
So, in all these years of my healing journey, I've learned that the story is always about yourself.
Yeah.
No matter how many issues you have, no matter how many people you have to blame and to criticize, or to say, no, this is not working because of them, or they are not changing, or they're not doing this, and they're not doing that. But then it's about you. It's always about the person who is going through that. And the self is the main focus in that story. So when we start focusing on that self, and when we start centering ourselves in that self and healing it, or you can say coming back to that self, that story which is revolving around that self, it starts resolving on its own. And that's what I do in my sessions. I start focusing on the self, because then your relationship with the other person will be fine, then your relationship with your own self, your job, your house, your colleagues, your peers, friends, everything just sorts out. And even your relationship with money sorts out, because you are fine, you are centered, and you focus on yourself, you love yourself. And that's how we say it's self-confidence, self-worth, self-expression,
Self-motivation,
self.
And it's also while you're flying, and they say if any disturbance is there, so put on the mask on yourself first before
Yes.
giving the mask
Yes.
to your
Yes.
child or anybody else.
Yes. And
Protect
I
yourself
hear so
first.
many people coming to me, like even my clients who learn techniques from me, like the classes, they are like, no, I want to help others. I want to learn this because I want to help other people. And I tell them in the class that focus on yourself. Helping others will only come when you are centered and when you know what you're doing.
Yeah, your life, your everything begins with
Exactly.
you. Wow,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
And the second one was the centering. Because centering is very important. We just distract ourselves, and we kind of lose ourselves in relationships, and we are like, we don't know what we are, where we are headed. We want to kill ourselves, we want to die, we want to like cling on to that person. If something is lost, we are just flowing in that flow. And that happens because we don't know our center. We lose our center.
So finding your center, anchoring to
Yes.
it, and that's where you start
Yes.
knowing about or getting aware of your existence.
Yes.
Consciously making an effort to be aware of your existence, and that's where the story begins.
Yes, exactly. Because when you it's like you are when the ship knows the anchor, there's an anchor in the ship, and it knows the direction where to go, and then the reaching and to that destination becomes easier. Similarly, when you are anchored in yourself and you're centered, you know which direction is for you and which is not for you. That becomes very clear when you are centered. So because in that centering, you can see, like I can see, at least with me, with a lot of practice, I just know that I can see what is for me, what is not for me, where I have to involve myself, where I don't have to involve myself. And even with relationships, which relationship is for me and which is not for me.
So beautifully said, because I often say that once you're centered and you know your existence and you are kind to yourself, then you know the difference wasting yourself and investing yourself.
Yes. Beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's something like whether it's money, time,
yes,
relationship, whatever.
Yes.
You're investing it
Yes.
because that's what it is.
It
And
is.
only your centering will
Yes.
tell you.
Yes.
Yes.
And only your centering tells you, even the centering tells you which class to attend, which healer to go to, which person to seek help from.
Totally.
Because it's like you are so into yourself that you know, okay, this matches my space.
Wow, so amazing.
And that comes with practice, I say.
Yes, everything,
Yes.
everything. Experiencing, practicing, intent to have, and acknowledging that you need this help and you want somebody to help you and tell
And then
you
surrendering.
how to do
Yeah.
it and surrender with faith. Wow. What a beautiful talk. What a beautiful show.
Oh, I enjoyed it so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Kripa. Thanks a lot. So, friends, know exactly that you are the most important person in your life, and your life begins with you. And to know your center, you have to be in silence to find one, and when you find one, anchor it. So that it said that the deeper you go, the higher you rise, right? It's like tree of life.
Yes.
Right? So this is so beautiful, and she has found her center
Yes.
and ready to center many more.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.